It's Friday, November 7th. MP is leaving the party. Matt Genereux announced his resignation as a member of parliament just days after another caucus member crossed the floor.
That's my intent, and that's my intent to certainly, work as hard as ever, not only with the MLAs that we have here and candidates in the lead up to the next election, but to work hard with, so many volunteers across the province, many that are going to be at our convention this weekend. We're looking forward to it.
Premier Scott Moe says he intends to lead his party into the 2028 election campaign.
I believe veteran teams win championships. It's very rare that a young team wins a championship because it takes that kind of that know-how and being there before.
The CFL West Final is just a day away. Are the Riders ready? We'll ask the team historian. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. We hope your Friday is off to a great start.
How cold is it going to be in the stands? That's the big question. 30,000 tickets are sold.
It's going to be cold, and wind chill definitely going to be a factor by the end of the game, feeling like -16.
She's got an update on the roads, and they're a bit of a mess as well. We'll get to news. We'll get back to Kayleen in just a moment. First, the Liberal minority government has survived the first in a series of confidence votes over the 2025 budget.
139, 139. Nays contre, 198, 198.
I declare the sub-amendment defeated.
By a vote of 191 to 139, the Liberals, NDP, Bloc and Greens defeated a Conservative sub-amendment, meaning Prime Minister Mark Carney's Liberals will stay in power for now. A second confidence vote is scheduled for today, but this time on a Bloc amendment. Hours before the vote yesterday, the Liberals announced they'd be treating the Conservative sub-amendment and Bloc amendment as confidence votes. A third confidence vote on the budget itself is scheduled for November 17th. For the second time this week, a Conservative MP is quitting his party, but this time he's not crossing the floor.
Ultimately, Matt Genereux decided, I'm told by a source very close to him, that he couldn't trust the Liberals and it was no longer tenable to stay with the party, the Conservatives.
Edmonton Riverbend's Matt Genereux says it was not an easy decision, but the right one for him. Initially, there was speculation that he'd considered crossing the floor. Some Conservative sources said he was under pressure to stay, but Genereux says coercion did not play a role in his decision to leave federal politics. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre later said that Genereux plans to step down as a member of Parliament in his riding in the spring. This comes after Nova Scotia MP Chris D'Entremont left the Conservative caucus to join the Liberals on Tuesday. The Supreme Court of Canada will hear appeals challenging Saskatchewan's school pronoun law. The law was challenged by Regina organization You Are Pride. It prevents children under the age of 16 from changing the names or pronouns they use at school without parental permission. Now, Saskatchewan invoked the notwithstanding clause in order to pass it.
It's good. We asked for them to hear the appeal, and they're going to hear it. So we'll see what the result of that is.
Section 33 is there for that elected government to exercise with their discretion to allow them to pass laws that may otherwise be in contravention of charter rights. It's not there for judicial interpretation. It's there for democratic use.
A hearing date has not been set at this point. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has now gone ahead with its operation to kill hundreds of ostriches at a farm in BC.
You want to know what pain looks like, Canada? She's going to lose everything she's ever loved for 35 years.
The fight to save the birds started last December after dozens of them died on the Universal Ostrich Farm. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency found traces of H5N1 in 2 dead birds and ordered the flock to be culled to contain the virus. The farm fought the order to the Supreme Court, but yesterday that appeal was dismissed. The farm's owners have said the cull was unnecessary because the flock was healthy and had herd immunity, but the CFIA said ostriches that appear healthy can still be a potential source of the virus. Saskatoon is out with its preliminary budget for the next 2 years. Jeremy Dodge, what are residents bracing for?
Daryl, they are bracing for another sizable tax hike. Yeah, the nearly 300-page document highlights proposed city spending and sets the stage for some difficult budget deliberations at the end of the month. Administration's pitching an increase of 8.2% next year, with the expectation council will lower that number.
This is not administration's wish list budget. It's what we think is the minimum cost to maintain the services we have today.
Between 2021 and 2024, Saskatoon's population grew by more than 33,000, or roughly the size of Moose Jaw. The defense has wrapped its case in a Saskatoon murder trial. Andrew Rosenfeld is accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nikera Brown. She was found shot in the head November 15th, 2022, inside the apartment she shared with Rosenfeld. The defense argues Brown died by suicide. Two police officers took the stand, one who responded to a prior suicide attempt and another who said Brown once called police herself and wanted to go to hospital. Court heard excerpts from the 911 call made by Rosenfeld after the shooting and the interview police did with him that night. You can hear both of those on our website. Closing arguments are scheduled for next week. Well, Daryl, yet another CEO will be coming to Real.
Yeah, after 5 months on the job, the CEO of the Regina Exhibition Association has left the organization. Rick Bennett joined Real as president and CEO in June, taking over for interim leader Trent Fraser. Now, Fraser will once again lead the organization on a temporary basis, with Bennett stepping away for what Real says are personal and family reasons. The search for a new president and CEO will begin early next year. Board Chair Jamie Bolt will be on the show with me this morning at 7:40 a.m. The man accused in the shooting death of a woman on Highway 39 near Weyburn will be back in court today. Family supporters and onlookers packed the Regina courtroom Thursday for a bail hearing for the man accused of manslaughter and other gun-related charges. Chris Fallman made an appearance over video link and learned his bail hearing will still be moving through the process. He will be back in court later this afternoon. The Saskatchewan NDP held a reception to honor Brenda Reynolds, the recipient of the United Nations Nelson Mandela Prize. Reynolds is the first Indigenous person and first Canadian to be awarded the prize. The award is given to 2 recipients every 5 years. Reynolds is a social worker and had a major role in the Indian Residential School Settlement Agreement.
To help people understand what the psychological effects are from cultural genocide is really important. And when I see people change as a result of them understanding what their experiences were and making sense of that and how it helps with their change, but also importantly helps with their own families' change.
The prize was awarded on July 18th, which is Nelson Mandela's birthday. Elon Musk is now one step closer to becoming the world's first trillionaire. The Tesla CEO won a shareholder vote yesterday, essentially giving him a new pay package that could be worth $1 trillion. The proposal was approved with more than 75% support, even as Tesla struggles with plunging sales and profits. We're now one day away from the CFL West Final at Mosaic Stadium.
Need a touchdown. Well, Winnipeg's headed to the cup. Fajardo in zone off the upright dead ball, and the Bombers have won the Western Final.
That's what happened the last time the West Final was played here in 2027. That won't be a problem anymore. Just saying, they're going to move those goalposts. Only a handful of players were around for that, including Micah Johnson.
That was crazy. Not a lot of good memories, man. It's one of those ones that'll stick with you. It's like, you know, thinking about the championships we won. A lot of times you're thinking about the ones you should have won. Obviously, me being a veteran, but, you know, I believe veteran teams win championships. It's very rare that a young team wins a championship because it takes that kind of that know-how and being there before. And just, it takes a lot. So for us, when you look around the group, it gives everybody confidence.
Tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. is the kickoff, and temperatures are going to play a role in that. Here's a look at the highway hotline at this hour. Roads in yellow are partly covered with snow, a little bit of ice. Travel not recommended. That's in blue. That's right around the Lloydminster, Alberta border area. Pink are snow covered. Nothing in the south seems to be affected so far, Kayleen, but man, oh man, you've got a lot to track today.
Yeah, so yesterday what we were seeing is more of those flurries falling through at that central zone, as you just saw on the highway hotline. Today, though, it's going to be down towards the south. south, in particular the southwest around Swift Current. Moose Jaw also going to be seeing some more of those flurries into the afternoon as well. I'm going to show you that in just a moment. This morning view, though, is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Now, the current temperatures out there right now, not wanting to pop up. There we go, -2 to start our day in Regina. Some clouds right now, some east winds coming in at 19 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we're seeing -7, again with that cloud cover, and those northeast winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. You can see on the radar and satellite that system and how it's sort of lost its luster as it was making its way down towards the south. Definitely diminishing in size there, but today, as we look forward, we see another system coming in from Alberta, bringing with it another wintry mix of precipitation. We're still seeing all those colors, the purple for the flurries, the pink for the freezing rain, and then the green for the actual rain that's going to be falling. A lot of cloud cover throughout the province today as well, and that's not really going to be going away all too much. As we make our way into those evening hours, this is at about 7:45 p.m. on your screen. Definitely reaching Regina there with those flurries. However, the chance on our radar of it starting actually begins around 3 p.m. this afternoon. And then, as you can also see, it goes down through Estevan, also going to be getting some of those flurries into the early morning hours of tomorrow. You can see this is at about 4 a.m. and that's just going to be exiting the province down towards the south, but a little bit more along the western border of Saskatchewan. And how much snow, you're probably wondering. Well, Swift Current, by the end of the day, we're seeing about 6 centimeters of snow. Moose Jaw expecting about 4 centimeters, Estevan about 3 centimeters, and Regina could get about 2 centimeters of snow. Current temperatures now showing Stony Rapids at -13, -10 in La Ronge, -16 degrees to wake us up in Nipawin, and -11 in Spiritwood. So definitely a cooler start to the day up in the north and central zones. Down towards the south, still cool, just not as cold as we're seeing up in the north. -2 in Swift Current, -2 in Regina, and -1 in Estevan to start the day. Now, today's forecast, we're seeing some places not even enter those positive values. Battleford's peaking today at -6, -8 for Prince Albert, -4 this afternoon in Yorkton, 0 degrees for Regina today, -3 for Saskatoon, and 1 degree in Estevan and Weyburn with those flurries later on. And you're probably wondering about that game day forecast. So let's take a look at this one now. By kickoff, -7, feeling more like -12 though. -10 by halftime. Wind's not going to be a concern, and those clouds are actually going to be pushing away from the city. -13 by the end of the game, but again, it could be feeling more like -16, so bundle up for that game.
Hockey players don't just have ice in their veins. The Humboldt Broncos are taking part in the Fall Get-Together Challenge, a national campaign that encourages group blood donations. And this team is turning it into a fun way to bond off the ice.
The unique team bonding, we don't get to do much off the ice, so I think this is something that really gets the guys together.
It's awesome. Seeing all the guys' different reactions to it is pretty funny, and it makes a good time.
The Broncos head coach says, along with team building, it's a way to honor the life-saving role blood donation played after the 2018 bus crash.
There were so many people that helped out during that crash time that we got to do our part now, you know, and it's no matter what, that's never going to change.
Blood donation has become a tradition the Broncos proudly continue.
It's such a privilege to play for the Broncos, and this is a big tradition, especially after the 2018 team and that tragedy. So I think it's really important to honor those guys and represent our organization in that sense.
Canadian Blood Services says the team's donation helps inspire others to give blood, something that's vital in saving lives.
There is no substitute for blood. Donated blood only lasts 42 days. So imagine going to your fridge and needing your fridge refilled. That's the way it is. But the difference is patients' lives depend on this. So we have to have blood.
CBS says about 5,000 appointments need to be filled each month in Saskatchewan to meet hospital demand, and is encouraging the public to consider donating. And for anyone feeling nervous, one player says there's nothing to worry about.
They make it pretty comforting here, and it doesn't cause any nerves at all.
Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
In case you missed it, New York City's famed Rockefeller Center will soon get its Christmas tree for the holiday season. This is the Norway spruce leaving its home of East Greenbush, New York. The 75-year-old 75-foot tree is a donation from the Russ family. It's scheduled to arrive at Rockefeller Center on Saturday. When it's put in place, the tree will be draped with more than 50,000 multicolored, energy-efficient LED lights and topped with a Swarovski star. The lighting ceremony will be part of a live broadcast at Rockefeller Center on December 3rd.
That's a lot of work to put that thing up. Oh,
yeah. I love this every year, though, seeing what tree gets selected and how they decorate it.
Jeremy, are you a real tree or a fake tree guy?
I prefer a real tree, but we are a fake tree guy because we're lazy.
Well,
I think, how long do you think it took to grow that thing? How many years, decades? Just chop it down.
Speaking of things that sparkle and shine, look at that jacket he's got on there. Look at that. That is a sharp dress.
You're looking groovy, Jeremy.
Question of the day is sports related, so the jacket is very apropos. What player do you expect to have the biggest game tomorrow in the CFL West final? Which player do you think is going to have a standout performance, JD?
Well, there are two. One is Nathan Rourke. I hope that doesn't happen. So let's go with A.J. Ouellette. He will carry the ball to victory. It's going to be colder, so the run game should be important. And if he can get going, oh man, I'm vibrating. I'm excited for tomorrow.
JD will be in the stands, so if you see him, get his 8x10 sign.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Who's going to have a breakout game? Who's going to be the star of this one? Scan the QR code on your screen. That'll share the answers with Kayleen as we take a look over the legislative building on the City of Regina. We're back in 2 minutes.
Many parts of the province have awoken to snow, and that first wintry blast is a reminder of the need in our province. Let's check in with Mike Siona, who's talking toasty toes this morning. Mike?
Yes, indeed. Surrounded by socks we are here this morning. I'm talking with Dr. Logan Eckhoff, who is a chiropractor, one of many across the province, and it's the Saskatchewan Chiropractors Association that is putting on this Toasty Toes campaign for a 9th year. Tell us about it.
Yeah, that's correct. So we've been doing this since 2016. We actually got the initiative from our Albertan colleagues. They started a few years before us, but since 2016 we've been raising socks. Last year we were able to raise over 16,000. And this year we're hoping to hit that 10,000 mark as well.
Amazing. That's pairs, by the way. So that's like 32,000 individual socks. We've got socks of different shapes and sizes, and you name it, you want it. It's got to be new. But why socks specifically?
Yeah, we found that socks, they're often requested by shelters around Saskatchewan, but they're one of the least donated. And so we hope that we could help bridge that gap a little bit.
I love that. And of course, to whom do these socks go and through whom?
Yeah, so we end up donating them to the Salvation Army, and through there they go through, lots of channels, and they end up on the feet of many people, children, teens, adults, kind of throughout Saskatchewan.
Fantastic. And of course, all the entirety of the province's chiropractors are collecting socks here. There's a cool little chart over there. Maybe we can get over there and show it. This is just a lot of fun, but ultimately over the next couple of weeks we want to fill up as many sock posters on the walls as we can, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We collect socks through the 28th, so there's still plenty of time to donate. Like you said, as long as they're new, they can be homemade, they can be store-bought, but as long as they're brand new.
Fantastic. I love that. And I'll tell you what, no better day than the first kind of big snowfall day. I know many parts of the province are dealing with that, to get that true sense of just the benefit of warm, dry feet. So give the gift of socks today. Stop by your local chiropractor, even if you don't have an appointment. And yeah, let's make a difference.
Yeah, Mike, right on. We'll check back in with you a little later on.
Let's take a look at our school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -2, in Saskatoon -7, -1 by lunch in Regina, and then -1 by the final bell. The high today only going to be 0 degrees on the nose, so definitely grab a jacket. -4 by lunch in Saskatoon, and then at final bell sitting at that expected daytime high of -3. That's right at that 3 o'clock time though, so immediately after that we're going to be seeing temperatures go right back down to -4 again, feeling colder again. Grab a jacket and a hat, maybe some gloves on your way out the door. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $128.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $109.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $124.9, and the lowest you might find is $119.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola is at $561.02 per ton, and the futures price at $620.20 per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat at $246.10 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading up at 70.84 cents US. After the break, how long the Premier plans to stay on the job, plus a look at the highways. Stay with us.
Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. It is 6:30. Premier Scott Moe says he does intend to lead his party into the next provincial election. It's not till 2028. The Premier made the comment prior to his first leadership review since winning the fall election. A leadership vote will come at the party's weekend convention in Saskatoon. The Saskatchewan Party won the 2024 election by a narrowed majority of 7 seats over the NDP. Moe says work has begun on winning back urban support.
That's my intent, and that's my intent to certainly, work as hard as ever, not only with the MLAs that we have here and candidates in the lead up to the next election, but to work hard with, so many volunteers across the province, many that are going to be in our convention this weekend, and we're looking forward to it.
The Saskatchewan Party will also vote on a constitutional amendment allowing only Saskatchewan residents with Canadian citizenship to vote on party matters. It would prevent those with permanent resident status from participating in candidate selection. Rural municipalities say the province has a lot of catching up to do on bridge maintenance. Delegations were discussing that issue at yesterday's midterm conference for the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities. They say RMs are using the Rural Integrated Roads for Growth program, where communities can receive up to $1 million for bridge or culvert projects. SARM representatives say a small bridge can cost around $1 million.
But it's also a lot to do with landscape, and a lot of municipalities have gone to low-level crossings in the last number of years and large diameter culverts. And as inflation keeps affecting our cost of doing things, bridges have become pretty expensive. And even with the funding we get through the RIG program, it's not quite enough to maintain.
SARM says the areas most in need for bridge and culvert repairs are areas in southeastern and east central Saskatchewan. Moose Jaw police have arrested 2 men with drug trafficking charges after a traffic stop for impaired driving on November 5th led to a vehicle search. Police found 61.2 grams of fentanyl, 2.4 grams of methamphetamine, around $1,800 in cash, a knife, and drug paraphernalia. A 38-year-old man and 26-year-old man are now facing charges of trafficking fentanyl, methamphetamine, and possessing property obtained by crime. They made their first court appearances Thursday. A man in Snowdon, Saskatchewan, is facing second-degree murder charges this morning. It comes after an investigation by RCMP Major Crimes. On Wednesday, just after 1 o'clock, officers say they performed a wellness check at a home in Snowdon. Police found a woman dead at that home. The death is considered suspicious, and a man was arrested on scene. 68-year-old Kevin Searcy is facing 1 count of second-degree murder in the death of 69-year-old Diane Searcy. Police say the two were known to each other and in a relationship. Kevin Searcy will be in Melfort Provincial Court later this morning. The investigation is ongoing. Travel plans for many Americans are being grounded today, with hundreds of flights canceled because of ongoing U.S. government shutdowns. And it could soon have a major impact on Canadian travelers as well.
They're not exempt from this reduction. They will be affected by it. And the question is going to be, what does that mean? It's going to be a mess.
U.S. officials are slashing air traffic by 10% at 40 major airports. That includes New York, Washington, Chicago, and Los Angeles. The Federal Aviation Administration and U.S. Administration for Transportation say traffic reduction is necessary to ease pressure on air traffic controllers and security screener agents who have been working without pay during the shutdown, now the longest in U.S. history. WestJet released a statement yesterday saying they're continuing to monitor the situation. Air Canada is as well, and they're putting a goodwill policy in place to waive some of the fees. Even if you're flying within Canada, there could be delays because some flights do go into U.S. airspace. RCMP investigating the cause of a crash north of Saskatoon that sent one person to hospital. This was the scene on Highway 12 north of Saskatoon, a crash between a minivan and a front-end loader that left the van heavily damaged. This one happened around 11 o'clock yesterday morning. RCMP say the driver of the minivan was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the front-end loader was not injured. Ontario-based BMI Group has now completed its acquisition of the former Prince Albert pulp mill. The company announced the purchase earlier this week. Both BMI and the mayor of Prince Albert suggest the facility will likely be repurposed to support the next generation of resource, energy, and bioeconomies. BMI did not disclose the price tag of the property. Nearly 900,000 Peloton bikes are being recalled because of a falling risk. Nearly 45,000 bikes in Canada are affected. They're being pulled over the faulty seat posts that can break and detach during use, creating fall and hazard for injury. And now, while there are no reports of incidents in Canada, there have been at least 2 that resulted in injuries in the U.S. The affected bikes were sold from 2020 through to April of this year. There is a backstage drama at this year's Miss Universe pageant. That was the host of the pageant claiming he was betrayed after some of the contestants staged a walkout. It was Miss Mexico who led the walkout. She's alleging the host insulted her and called her a dumbhead for not posting enough about the contest on social media. Now, the host denied using that term. He later issued an apology on stage with contestants. Nintendo is expected to sell even more of its Switch 2 than originally thought. The video game giant now expects to sell 19 million units of the Switch 2 in its current fiscal year, which ends in March. Earlier projections had them at about 15 million. Now, the Japanese company says more than 10 million Switch 2 units have already been sold since it hit store shelves in June. And one of the most anticipated video game releases of the year has been delayed once again. Big news for video game lovers. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released in November of 2026. That's a delay instead of May. This after it was already postponed twice before Rockstar Games. The studio behind it says they hope that people understand that they need the time to deliver a quality that people expect and deserve. Here's a look at the highway hotline. It's an updated shot. Highways now around Watrous, snow covered in pink, right up to Saskatoon, down to Davidson. Roads in yellow are partly covered, and travel still not recommended right in and around that Lloydminster area. Kayleen, a lot to get to. How are we being impacted?
Well, down towards the south where we saw those black lines indicating that the roads are just seasonal, those are going to be changing color today because we are expecting some more flurries. Yesterday we saw them mainly in the central zones, just a few flurries down towards the south. Well, today that is going to change. I'll show you that on our futurecast in just a moment here, though. -2 to wake us up in Regina. The sun not fully up yet. We do have some clouds in the sky. East winds at 19 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, cooler start to the day, -7 right now. We have those winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Also seeing those clouds that are going to be sticking around throughout the afternoon. And you can see that on the futurecast here. Just blanketed in clouds today, Saskatchewan is. And we're going to be seeing some of that precipitation making its way in from Alberta down towards the south. Swift current there. You can see that purple indicating the flurries. A little bit of pink, so some freezing rain. And then those green colors there indicating the rain on the way. Into the later parts of the afternoon and evening hours, we're going to start to see it tracking eastwards. So you can see it right over top of Regina there around 8 p.m. It's right on the border, though. I do want to let you know, though, the chance of the flurries starting on the radar does pop up as of about 3 p.m. It's more likely into the later afternoon hours, but that's when we have a chance of it starting. And then into into those overnight hours, we do see it tracking down towards the south. Estevan still could be seeing the last little bits of the remaining piece of that system there into the early morning tomorrow. And then we're going to see most of that precipitation make its way out of the province for game time. Current temperatures now, we're at -13 in Stony Rapids, -10 in Buffalo Narrows, -12 in Prince Albert right now, -17 to start the day in Hudson Bay. And then down towards the south, we are seeing things warmer, still not warm, but warmer than areas up in the north. -1 in Swift Current, 1 degree for Assiniboia, -1 in Weyburn, and -1 in Estevan as well. Today's forecast for the afternoon, some places throughout the central zones not even going to be seeing those positive temperatures today. Saskatoon peaking at -3, Yorkton at -5, and Prince Albert at -8. Down towards the south, we do see some positive temperatures, just not super warm. 1 degree for Weyburn, 1 degree for Estevan, and 2 degrees for Swift Current. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. If you're looking forward to game time, we're peaking tomorrow in Regina at about -6. By game time, though, we're going to be dropping down, and by the end of the game, it's going to be feeling, with the wind chill factored in, like -16. So definitely bundle up for the game tomorrow. In Saskatoon, we're seeing a temperature of -7 tomorrow, and then continuing on into your next work week, we do see temperatures start to go back up again.
Very excited to be joined now by the rider historian, legendary rider reporter, author of multiple books about the green and white, Rob Vanstone. Good morning.
Morning, Jeremy. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. It is the most wonderful time of the year, at least this year. Playoff football in the cold Regina air. For someone who has lived and breathed this team for so long, Rob, how do you feel when it's November and the Riders have a shot at greatness?
I love this. It's borders on the surreal, being able to experience this from a new perspective. Being with the Rough Riders for the first time for a home West final is I'm still really struggling to process it, especially at 6:42 a.m. That's beyond my processing skills at this hour. But I can hardly wait for about a day and a half from now. I think I still can't really put into words what my emotions are going to be, because I don't know what they're gonna. I've never been through something like this in this capacity.
It is. I'm like almost vibrating as a fan just talking to you about it. So I can imagine being on the inside is pretty great. So let's talk about football, okay? 2 things I think, to me, need to happen in this game for the Riders to win. One is contain Nathan Rourke, and the second is to get A.J. Ouellette running. So let's start with that first one. Can the Riders keep the guy who will likely be the league MOP in check?
Well, I'm not sure anybody's going to do that completely. I mean, he's a tremendous player and such a marquee presence for the Canadian Football League, and just watching him play is always a joy. If you look at the last regular season game between the two teams, October 25th, the Rough Riders, they were able to contain the BC offense pretty well, even though the full unit wasn't out there. The Rough Riders won in BC with Nathan Rourke quarterbacking. He's gonna make plays. His receivers are gonna make plays. They high-powered offense, but can he be contained sufficiently? I would argue yes.
Okay, so let's talk. If Nathan Rourke does go off and starts to score, the Riders will need to keep up. So let's talk about how important I think the run game is going to be the main thing, right? Or do you think this is riding on Trevor Harris and that elite receiving core?
I mean, I think this is going to be the type of game where we're really going to see how terrific Trevor Harris is. Not that we haven't seen that this year, but when you look at the showcase for his skills, I'm just so excited to watch Trevor play. There's been so much talk about Nathan Rourke, and rightfully so, but Trevor Harris in his own right is, in my books, a Hall of Famer, and I love this quarterbacking matchup. When you get to this time of year, the weather gets colder, a ground game is so important. A.J. Ouellette being second in the league in rushing, I think when they signed AJ Ouellette in February of 2024, as much as the regular season is important, he's made for games like this. Last year in the postseason, he had 3 touchdowns in 2 games. I would expect AJ Ouellette to perform at that level again.
All right, now it's not going to be blistering cold at game time tomorrow, but it will be cool. Any weather-based home field advantage you feel for the Riders?
I don't think there's going to be tons of snow. It doesn't look like the wind is going to howl. Corey Mace was asked about yesterday whether the weather or the crowd offers more of a home field advantage, and he said emphatically it's the crowd that's going to be the factor. If we were looking at mid-January, plug in your car, don't you dare go outside type weather, maybe, but I don't think the weather itself is going to be too inhibiting. I think the big force in terms of home field advantage is going to be the crowd, and as of yesterday, more than 32,000 tickets had been sold, and I expect people are going to be pretty loud.
All right, and hopefully the Riders punch their ticket to Winnipeg. The Rider historian Rob Vanstone, thank you so much for a few minutes this morning. Here's to an enjoyable Saturday in Riderville.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, and best to everybody, your entire audience. Hope you have a great day.
Go to Regina's art gallery. Janelle Lippi is standing by, spending the morning with an artist named Richard Boulay. Is he there with you right now?
He sure is here with me. We are having a lot of fun this morning. Tons of beautiful artwork to see. Now, Richard, I'm very interested to start talking about you here. Tell me a little bit about how you got into art itself.
Well, my first undergraduate degree was in architecture from the University of Manitoba, and when that was finished, they said I would probably be happier in art school. So I took a year off, did some traveling, took art school first year, and I knew I had made a career change. So I just love making art.
Incredible. Well, I can tell there's a ton of passion put into these. Now, there have been some hurdles that you've jumped in the process and along the way. Speak to me a little bit about what those were.
Well, my first big struggle in life was trying to deal with being gay. I had a lot of internalized homophobia, and it wasn't until I got to art school that I started to lighten up and be more relaxed about that situation. And then, but in art school, I started to have symptoms that were eventually diagnosed as
Amazing. Well, that's incredible to hear. Now, tell me a little bit about how these hurdles have impacted and
It's November 8th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We didn't get a name for this birthday girl, but Kelly wrote in and sent a message that read, "I'd like to wish my mama a big happy birthday from your daughter, son-in-law Aaron, and all your grandchildren. We love you, and we hope you have an amazing day." Happy birthday also going out to Russell. He's now 64 years old. We hope your birthday is awesome with lots of love coming your way from your wife, Charmaine. A big happy birthday going out to Macy today. She's turning 8 years old, and her mom, dad, and big sister Ella all hope she has the best day. Enjoy. And looking forward to the weekend. Happy birthday to Larry, affectionately known as Larf, who's turning 62 tomorrow. We hope it's a great one. Have a great weekend. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please remember to send those in at least one day in advance.
Who's stealing the show on Saturday in the big game? I know you're an Edmonton fan, but if you had to change green colors for a day, who's gonna steal the show?
This is my big game. I'm going for U of R in the Hardy Cup. No, I think the Riders have this. They beat BC 2 out of 3 times throughout the year, too.
time BC won, riders were sitting their starters. So I think they're going to be fired up. Hopefully they'll get right into game action too. It's tough when you haven't played meaningful football for some time, but it's going to be a good one. Weather could be a little warmer for it, but that's all right. Today we're talking to Google Maps. If you could make a custom Google map just for you, the designers came and said, what would you like on this? What would it have to include? You can text 54321 because I think they finally got my letters. It was uncovered that they are working on a toggle feature for Google Maps that will point you in the shadiest areas for your walks, which there's also a sunny feature too, but I think we know which one that I'm going to be using on that map.
You got to choose some danger every once in a while. Chase, thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Daryl. See you next hour.
This is your story. Honor your past and embrace the future. That's what people want.
The first teaser trailer is out for the Michael Jackson biopic, Michael. Jafar Jackson, Michael's nephew, makes his feature debut as the King of Pop. The highly anticipated movie is due in theaters April 24th.
Billy, what are these things?
More 80s nostalgia, Warner Brothers is bringing back Gremlins. The studio has announced it's releasing an as-yet untitled Gremlins movie on November 19th, 2027. Chris Columbus, who wrote the original 1984 film, takes the director's chair and will also help write the script. No word yet on the cast or plot.
So our story takes place between seasons 2 and 3, but we soon learn that nothing is quite as they thought it was.
And Netflix has released the first look at Stranger Things, Tales from 85. The animated series based on the streamer's smash hit live-action show, which wraps up this winter, is due out sometime next year. Heading from Hollywood to Hawkins, I'm David Daniel.
How about a flash mob in our sidebar?
I see a little silhouette of a man. Galileo.
Watch as this square in Paris comes alive with Bohemian Rhapsody. Mickey, the lead singer, surprises everyone channeling a little Freddie Mercury. Then the singers pop out of windows and they join in.
Did you know, fun fact, I've been a part of a flash mob before?
Regale me.
It was for one of my dance teacher's proposals in the Chinook Mall in Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. What song?
Yeah.
What's on Bruno Mars?
Marry Me.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that was
really only one. All right.
It was fun.
Good. What else do you got for us?
All right. Well, now to a couple who are A-OK with different groups.
The OG, original gangster. OG, original gangster. OG, original gangster.
According to the door camera footage, it's obvious who the top dog is in this house, and it's the wife. Meanwhile, the husband has a flock of feathered friends who follow him around every day. So favorites have been chosen.
He's got his own crew.
She should be worried. He's picking up chicks every day.
That's a good one.
That's a quality joke.
That's a quality one. I'm gonna give you that one, Daryl.
Gotta give me that one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right, time out. I'm gonna go on a high note. We'll see you in a minute. It's finally Friday, November 7th.
Yeas pour 139, 139. Nays contre 198, 198.
I declare the sub-amendment defeated.
Confidence vote cleared. A Conservative sub-amendment to the Liberals' federal budget defeated a second confidence vote on a block amendment coming today.
That's my intent, and that's my intent to certainly, work as hard as ever, not only with the MLAs that we have here and candidates in the lead up to the next election, but to work hard with, so many volunteers across the province, many that are going to be in our convention this weekend, and we're looking forward to it.
Scott Moe says he intends to lead the party into the 2028 provincial election.
I believe veteran teams win championships. It's very rare that a young team wins a championship because it takes that kind of that know-how and being there before.
CFL West final just a day away. How ready are your riders? Stay with us. Saskatchewan Your Morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Happy Friday.
Big weekend. Of course, the Hardy Cup is happening as well up in Saskatoon. The Rams taking on the Huskies. And we're playing weather games this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold one. If you're heading out to the Rider game this weekend, bundle up. By the end of the game, wind chill factored in could feel like -16.
See, maybe we should bring back one of those riders so they can take the blame for the forecast.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
They just come in and they have this joyous hat.
Yeah, somebody else can take the blame.
Let's get off to the news for this part of the hour. Members of Parliament set to vote today on another federal budget amendment. This one comes after Mark Carney's government survived the first confidence test yesterday.
Yeas pour 139, 139. Nays contre 198, 198.
I declare the sub-amendment defeated.
News voted down a Conservative sub-amendment that claimed the budget does not offer Canadians an affordable life. NDP, Bloc Québécois, and Green MPs voted with the Liberals against the sub-amendment to keep the minority government in power. Today's vote is on a Bloc Québécois amendment that calls on MPs to reject the budget because it's, quote, harmful to Quebec. Alberta Conservative MP Matt Genereux is resigning as a member of Parliament. Resignation, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says will take place next spring. In a letter posted to social media, Genereux says he doesn't really elaborate on why he's resigning, saying he ran in the last election hopeful that Canadians would put their faith in a team led by Poilievre. News of Genereux's resignation comes just days after Nova Scotia MP Chris D'Entremont crossed the floor to join the Liberals. In a later statement, Genereux stressed that there is no coercion involved in his decision, adding that he's had a great conversation with Poilievre. Let's talk Saskatoon budget as we welcome in Jeremy Dodge this morning. What's in store for us?
Well, Daryl, the preliminary budget is out for the next 2 years, which sets the stage for multiple days of difficult discussions at the end of the month. As Keenan Sorokhan reports, Council has some tough work ahead of them to avoid a steep hike.
The city has released its budget where inflation, population growth, and policing continue to put pressure on a city council hoping for a modest increase to property taxes.
And this is not administration's wish list budget. It's what we think is the minimum cost to maintain the services we have today.
After forecasting a property tax increase just shy of 10% in June, administration has whittled that number down to 8.23%, which translates to an additional $16 a month for the average home. 8.23% would be the largest property tax increase in Saskatoon's history. Over the summer, councillors asked administration to get that number down to as low as 4.9%, but administration is leaving the hard work up to council with more than 100 ways to get there if they want.
It's certainly possible, but there'll be implications to many of those decisions on service levels and risks that we would need to take in order to achieve that.
Don't forget, last year the city moved utilities off of property taxes and onto its own bill, and those rates are expected to increase about 5% as well. The police service isn't helping the goal to 5%, with an increase of more than 8% to its own budget, down from its original ask of over 10%. Some new hires were put off, as well as other spending items, but nearly $200 million will be spent in the next 2 years on overhauling Saskatoon's water treatment plant. With 3 days scheduled, Hack warned budget deliberations might take longer if council needs the time.
It's going to take what it needs to take to find that right balance.
Between 2021 and 2024, the city grew by roughly the population of Moose Jaw, with another 9,000 people expected this year. City Council will now spend multiple days trying to balance servicing that growth with an affordable property tax increase. Keenan Sorokhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Daryl, the Regina Exhibition Association looking for a new CEO again.
Yeah, Rick Bennett is out, leaving for personal and family reasons. He's only been on the job since June. Trent Fraser will take over on an interim basis. The search for a new president and CEO will begin early next year. Board Chair Jamie Bolt will be on set with us in about a half hour on CTV Yorkton and Regina. The man accused in the shooting death of a woman on Highway 39 near Weyburn will be back in court today. Family, supporters, and onlookers packed to Regina courtroom Thursday for a bail hearing for the man accused of manslaughter and other gun-related charges. Chris Fallman made an appearance via video link and learned his bail hearing is still moving through the process. He is back in court later this afternoon. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has now gone ahead with its operation to kill hundreds of ostriches at that farm in BC.
You want to know what pain looks like, Canada? She's going to lose everything she's ever loved for 35 years.
The fight to save the birds started last December after dozens of the birds died on the Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, BC. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency found traces of H5N1 in 2 dead birds and ordered the flock to be culled to contain that virus. The farm's owners have said the cull was unnecessary because the flock was healthy and had herd immunity. The CFIA, though, said the ostriches that appear healthy can still be a potential source of the virus. We're now a day away from the CFL West Final at Mosaic Stadium.
Need a touchdown. Well, Winnipeg's headed to the cup. Fajardo in zone off the upright dead ball, and the Bombers have won the Western Final.
That's what happened last time a West Final was played here, and 2027 won't be a problem. They're moving those goalposts, remember. Just saying. Only a handful of players were around. That includes Micah Johnson.
That was crazy. Not a lot of good memories, man. It's one of those ones that'll stick with you. It's like, thinking about the championships we won. A lot of times you're thinking about the ones you should have won. Obviously, me being a veteran, but, I believe veteran teams win championships. It's very rare that a young team wins a championship because it takes that kind of that know-how and being there before. And just, it takes a lot. So for us, when you look around the group, it gives everybody confidence.
The province proclaimed yesterday Green and White Day. There was a flag raising and a call on you to wear your green to support the Riders.
We can do our part as Saskatchewan residents by, really showing our support not only for our Rough Riders but for the CFL, but showing our support as well for a victorious game and a winning game for our team on Sunday.
This final is tomorrow, 5:30. Grey Cup is November 16th. Let's take a look out at those highways again. Here's a live look at the highway hotline. Highways around Watrous now snow covered in pink, right up to Saskatoon, down to Davidson. Roads in yellow, partly covered. Travel not recommended in a couple of areas, including up near Cumberland House. That highway is, in fact, closed at this hour. Kayleen, it's only getting worse.
Yeah, well, down in the southwest, we're going to be seeing some more of that snow falling today, also coming with that freezing rain. So that is really going to be impacting the roads down in that southwest corner of the province today. Not really going to be seeing too much improvements in the next little bit because a lot of those areas up in the central zone not going to be reaching those positive temperatures today. Now let's take a look at those current temperatures. So -3 to start the day in Regina. We are seeing that cloud cover to start the day. East winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Similar wind gusts in Saskatoon this morning. Also seeing that similar cloud cover as well. -7 though, so definitely cooler through the central zones right now. Let's take a look at that radar and satellite and show how that system made its way through the province yesterday. Really built up around that central zone, and then it diminished as we got down towards the south, but you can see right at the tail end there as we look towards this morning, we see some more of that precipitation coming in from Alberta. Now, as we look at the future casts here, you can see how exactly that is going to move in as we go later on into the day. So this is at about 12:45 p.m. We're mainly seeing that purple color, so that is the snow flurries that are going to be falling around Swift Current this afternoon. It's going to start early in the afternoon, but it is going to continue on into the evening hours as well. This is at about 8:30 p.m. Now, you can see it's just reaching Regina at that time, so more likely we're just going to be seeing cloud cover for the early afternoon and then the flurry starting in Regina into the evening. However, the chance of it starting on the radar does pop up around 3 p.m. So if you are planning any long road trips today, the sooner the better before that snow makes its way in. Now, Estevan also going to be seeing it down through the southeast corner into early tomorrow morning, but then by game time tomorrow afternoon, we're not going to be seeing any of that precipitation falling. The skies are expected to be clear for game time. Total snowfall by the end of the day today, Swift Current could see about 7 centimeters of snow now, 4 centimeters for Moose Jaw, 2 centimeters for Regina, and about 3 centimeters by the end of the day for Estevan. Current temperatures now showing Stony Rapids at -12. Believe it or not, that's warmer than what we saw yesterday when they were into the -20s already at this time. -16 right now in Nipawin, -12 for Melfort, and -17 in Hudson Bay. A little bit warmer down towards the south, but I use that term loosely because a lot of areas still into those negative temperatures. -2 in Swift Current, -1 for Moose Jaw, and -1 in Estevan and Weyburn to start the day. Later on this afternoon, we're seeing temperatures just barely above that seasonal average. 2 degrees for Swift Current, and keep in mind that average for this time of year is about 0 degrees. Regina hitting that right on the nose today. Estevan up to 1 and Weyburn up to 1 with that snowfall as well. And as we take a look at that game day forecast, well, it's going to be cool. Definitely bundle up. -7 by kickoff, -10 by halftime, and -13 by the end of the game with those clear skies. However, factor in wind chill, going to be feeling more like -16. Time now for a look at our rural forecast, where you can see many areas in the north and central zones not going to be reaching those positive temperatures at all this afternoon. Melfort only reaching -8, Wynyard up to -6, and Outlook up to -1 with that snow starting to fall in the afternoon. Down towards the southwest in particular, that's where we're going to be seeing the most of that precipitation later on this afternoon. East and Cypress up to 6 degrees. They're also going to be seeing winds up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Pilot Butte up to 0 degrees, and Carlisle with that cloud cover up to -2. Let's take a look at Hague, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. -5 this afternoon. Cloudy conditions all throughout the afternoon, and winds coming in between 20 to 30 kilometers per hour.
Let's go back out to Mike Siona now. He's spending the morning at the chiropractors. Mikey, you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm totally fine. I'm just only at the chiropractors this morning because we're talking about toasty toes and the sock drive. I'm here with Dr. Logan Eckhoff at Pavlovich Chiropractic, and I'll tell you what, we've got socks in hand. Tell us about this fantastic initiative that's nearing a decade.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been doing this since 2016. We actually got the idea from our Albertan colleagues. They started a few years before us, but we found that socks were one of the least donated items for shelters. It's often requested, and we felt that we could help bridge that gap a little bit.
I love that. Obviously, this is province-wide, the Chiropractors Association of Saskatchewan, the driving force of this, which is really cool. And we call it Toasty Toes because we were sitting here talking and we couldn't think of an alliteration for metatarsal, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we were trying really hard, though.
Well, like, we gave it a good 30 seconds of thought. But you don't need to give any thought to donate socks. It's really easy. What are the rules?
Yeah, so the socks do have to be brand new. They can be handmade. They can be store-bought as long as they're brand new. A variety of sizes is nice to have, so children's socks, teen socks, even all the way up to adult. They have until November 28th, so still a couple weeks left to bring them in, and any local chiropractic office should be able to accept those.
Fantastic. I love that. We were looking at the graphs a little bit earlier. We've got fuzzy socks here. Look at that. That will help to keep somebody's feet warm. And today's a perfect day to be talking about this, the first snowfall. How important is it to have warm, dry feet?
Very, very important. You know, like I was saying, it's not an often donated item. So if we can keep people warm this winter, at least a little bit warmer, it goes a long ways.
Fantastic. Well, there you go. Any chiropractor in the province should be able to help you out, point you in the right direction. Bring them in brand new, variety of sizes. We're going to hang out here and see what else we can garner this morning.
Excellent, Mike. Wonderful work. Thank you very much. We'll see you again in just a little while.
Basketball going to be a big event in Toronto.
30 years ago this week, Canadians got a new sports team to cheer for when the Toronto Raptors played their first ever NBA game.
Think it's going to be a hit?
Oh, yeah, big time, for sure.
Why?
Well, to see like Michael Jordan, Shaquille, all the famous basketball players.
They played New Jersey Nets. That team now plays in Brooklyn. The game was at the Sky Dome, now called Rogers Centre, and they played there because the Air Canada Centre wasn't built yet. Oh, that's now known as the Scotiabank Arena. By the way, the Raptors won that first game, beating the Nets 95-79.
The owners of an Ontario hobby farm have seen their herd double in a single day after one of their cows gave birth to quadruplet calves, which already have names.
Whoa!
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. These are four little guys and very healthy.
The calves are born in Kingsville, Ontario, and they're doing well, each weighing between 20 and 30 pounds. The odds of 4 healthy quadruplets is about 1 in 11 million.
Yeah.
And the names are perfect.
Eeny, meeny, miny, and mo.
I love them.
There you go. We got to offset some of the bad news in the newscast, right? Question of the day, we're talking Rough Riders.
Yeah, so we're asking you today, which player do you expect will have the biggest game tomorrow in the CFL West Final? This question hasn't really woken up the province quite yet. We only have a couple answers so far. Schaefer Baker will steal the show was the first answer that came in.
He already stole our show this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we had Nathan Rourke. Doesn't mean that BC will win, but he's too good to not have the best game. So we want to hear from you. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply, or you can scan that QR code on your screen. Let us know, what player are you expecting will have the biggest game tomorrow?
How's it going? Jermaine Franklin inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. For it, we go to Buffalo. Sabres, Blues. Jack Quinn finds Josh Doan in front of the net, but Joel Hofer absolutely robs him. Hofer flashing the leather to keep this one out. One of his 27 saves to a shutout. Doan had the whole right side of the net and finds nothing but glove. That's your must-see moment from Thursday. And tonight on TSN, Tangerine Raptors basketball. Toronto taking on Atlanta. Pregame begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Apparently, the markets are okay with the possibility of Elon Musk becoming the world's first trillionaire. Tesla is outperforming the Magnificent Seven stocks as the electric vehicle maker's shareholders approved a $1 trillion compensation package for Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk. Now, this is the largest payout ever awarded to a corporate leader. More than 75% of the votes cast were in favor of the unprecedented pay plan. You might want to check your flight if you're heading to the U.S. or have a connector there. It's because a U.S. government order to make drastic cuts in commercial air traffic amid the government shutdown has taken effect, with major airports across the country experiencing a significant reduction in schedules and leaving travelers scrambling to adjust their plans. While airlines have started to reduce domestic flights, major global hubs such as JFK in New York and LAX in Los Angeles are also affected, meaning delays and sudden changes that could have a cascading effect on international air traffic. The White House has told others in the federal government it won't allow NVIDIA to sell its latest scaled-down AI chips to China, despite President Donald Trump's hints over the summer that he might allow the company to do so. This, according to 3 people with knowledge of the matter. The decision is a major blow to the AI chip giant, which has seen its revenue from China shrivel this year as a result of tighter export restrictions imposed by the U.S. government over national security concerns. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Time for your Friday morning mystery. 3 clues. Try to get it right. It is a show today. The first episode of this TV show debuted 35 years ago this week. Hilary Swank signed on for 2 seasons of the show as a single mother, Carly Reynolds, but was written off the show after only 16 episodes. Dylan McKay wasn't supposed to be a recurring character. That is your clues. Uh-oh, I've got this wrong here already. Write them down, see what you got. Okay, Kayleen, this is probably before your time.
I don't know this one.
You're probably before your time.
Big old question mark.
90210, is that right?
Stop, really?
It's Beverly Hills.
Wait, I just started rewatching this last week. Wait, I've seen this one.
90210.
Hold on, no, this isn't before my time, though, because I've seen this show. What is going on?
35 years ago is before your time, is it not?
No, but I just watched the first episode of this again last week.
Judge's ruling, you're wrong. That is your morning mystery.
So close.
Oh.
video consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Time now for a look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. -3 in Regina if you're heading out to catch the bus. -7 in Saskatoon. -1 by lunchtime in Regina. Still sitting at -1 at that final bell. The expected daytime high in Regina today is 0 degrees, right on the nose. So not really reaching into those positive temperatures today. In Saskatoon, -4 at that lunchtime hour. Just a few bits of sunshine poking through those clouds at that time. And then the clouds will take over once again by final bell, where we're sitting at -3 with winds coming in up to 30 kilometers per hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $128.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $109.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up $124.9, and the lowest you might find is $119.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola at $561.02 per ton, and the futures price at $620.20 per ton. Amber Durum wheat at $285.94 per ton, and red spring wheat at $246.10 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading up at 70.84 cents US. Ahead in news, how flight delays in the U.S. could affect Canadians. Those details coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome to Your Morning. It is just about 7:30 on your Friday, and let's get into news. The Saskatchewan Party will vote this weekend on a proposal restricting full party membership to Canadian citizens. It would exclude those permanent residents only from voting on party matters. The change would align with election voting eligibility, but opposition critics call it discriminatory. Wayne Mantika reports.
A change in party membership rules will be one of the more controversial topics debated this weekend when the Saskatchewan Party holds its annual convention in Saskatoon. If passed, only Canadian citizens could vote on matters like party candidate selection and leadership.
It's mirroring and aligning with Election Saskatchewan on who can vote in an election in the province.
The Premier doesn't know what prompted the proposal or if he will support it.
This is a motion that comes from the grassroots of the very party. It's not a motion that myself or any elected member really brings, and I can be thankful that we do have a grassroots.
The party also proposes to restrict decision-making to those of voting age. The NDP was quick to offer an opinion.
Especially when people come to this province and they call this place their home. And when they are wanted to involve at grassroots level politics, I think that will be really discouraging.
Scott Moe will also face his first leadership review since the Saskatchewan Party won the 2024 election with a reduced majority. Moe says he would like to stay on as leader through the next election.
It's my intent, and that's my intent to certainly, work as hard as ever, not only with the MLAs that we have here and candidates in the lead up to the next election, but to work hard with, so many volunteers across the province, many that are going to be at our convention this weekend, and we're looking forward to it.
A Saskatchewan Party leader needs 50% support in order to retain their position. But in practice, it's generally higher than that. With anything less than overwhelming support, a leader would have to make their own decision on whether to stay or go, although there could be added leeway coming off an election win. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
The defense has wrapped its case in a Saskatoon murder trial. Andrew Rosenfeld is accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend, 20-year-old Nikira Brown. She was found shot in the head on November 15th, 2022, inside an apartment that she shared with Rosenfeld. The defense argues Brown died by suicide. 2 police officers took the stand, one who responded to a prior suicide attempt, and another who said Brown once called police herself, and wanted to go to hospital. Court heard excerpts from a 911 call made by Rosenfeld after the shooting and the interview police did with him that night. You can hear both of those on our website. Closing arguments are scheduled for next week. A man has died after an incident at an Assiniboia facility. On November 1st, RCMP received a report of an assault after an altercation between 2 individuals. A man was taken to hospital but died of his injuries November 3rd. RCMP are investigating the circumstances around the altercation, with the coroner's service investigating the cause. So far, no charges have been laid. A man in Snowden, Saskatchewan, is facing second-degree murder charges this morning. It comes after an investigation by RCMP Major Crimes. On Wednesday, just after 1 o'clock, officers say they performed a wellness check at a home in Snowden. Now, police found a woman dead in the home. The death is considered suspicious, and a man was arrested at scene. 68-year-old Kevin Searcy is facing one count of second-degree murder into the death of 69-year-old Diane Searcy. Police say the two were known to each other and in a relationship. Kevin Searcy will be in Melfort Provincial Court later this morning. The investigation is ongoing. Travel plans for many Americans are being grounded, with hundreds of flights canceled because of the ongoing U.S. government shutdown. It could have a major impact on Canadians as well.
They're not exempt from this reduction. They will be affected by it. And the question is going to be, what does that mean? It's going to be a mess.
U.S. officials are slashing air traffic by 10% at 40 major airports. That includes New York, Washington, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Even if you're flying within Canada, there could be delays because some of those flights go into U.S. airspace. The Alberta Teachers Association is taking legal action against that province. It's going to court over Daniel Smith's use of the notwithstanding clause in forcing teachers back to work last week.
Teachers will ask the court to declare that the government's use of the notwithstanding clause was improper and invalid. Declare that the government's attempt to shield itself from judicial review through Section 14 of the Act, the so-called privative clause, is unconstitutional, as it seeks to prevent the courts from doing its job.
All right, so the union has filed an application asking the judge to immediately pause the law until a full constitutional challenge is heard. The union calls the government's actions an abuse of power. Bill 2 forced about 50,000 teachers to end their 3-week-long province-wide strike. At least 5 people have been killed after a typhoon made landfall in Vietnam. The storm battered the Vietnamese coast late Thursday with destructive winds and heavy rain. It uprooted trees, damaged homes, and knocked out power before it weakened and moved inland. The storm killed at least 188 people in the Philippines before it reached Vietnam. The University of Regina hosted a special public lecture last night exploring how Indigenous artists capture connections to the land through visual storytelling. The event at the College Avenue campus featured a keynote speaker named Carmen Robertson, speaking on the topic, quote, picturing land, Indigenous aesthetics on the flatland. Robertson encouraged attendees to use their own eyes to differing perspectives and appreciate the ongoing evolution of Indigenous art in the province.
If nothing else, we have a very rich Indigenous art history here, and it's important that everyone understands what's come before and what's continuing now. My goal tonight is to ensure that people open their eyes to different ways of looking at Indigenous art, to understanding it.
The lecture offered a fresh perspective showing how Indigenous art continues to tell powerful stories here in Saskatchewan. Here's a live look one more time at the highway hotline. That area up near the parkland is all partly or snow covered at this point, a little bit of ice and slush on there. The Cumberland House Highway there is now officially closed, Kayleen. There's a muck out there. There's a lot of mess.
Yeah, well, so we saw that snow and that freezing rain in the central part of the province yesterday. A little bit of flurries down towards the south, but today is the day that the southwest is going to be seeing most of that snow. I'll show you that in our future cast here. -3 though to wake us up in Regina. This morning view is brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. East winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. The sun not quite up yet, but we are seeing that cloud cover right now. -7 to wake us up in Saskatoon. Still seeing that cloud cover and winds coming in at 20 kilometers per hour. Now the radar and satellite showing that we do have some freezing rain in Alberta. That warning isn't officially into Saskatchewan this morning, but we are still seeing some of that freezing rain. The futurecast showing how that system is going to be pushing over from Alberta into Saskatchewan into the afternoon hours today. So swift current going to be seeing that snow falling with some of that freezing rain as well. And then it's going to be reaching over to Regina and then down through Estevan as well. That's just going to be later on into the evening. But I do want to let you know that for Regina, although we don't officially see it reaching Regina until the evening hours, the chance of it starting does pop up on our radar at about 3 p.m. So just start to be ready for that at that time. Now into the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning, we see that last little bit down towards the south in Estevan, exiting around 4 a.m. and then a little bit more coming in from Alberta. Again, just a smaller patch of it. By game time tomorrow, though, we're not going to be seeing any more of that precipitation. Total snowfall by the end of the day today. Swift Current could be seeing about 7 centimeters of snow. Moose Jaw about 4 centimeters. Regina about 2 centimeters, so not quite as much as that southwest corner. And then Estevan expecting about 3 centimeters of that snow. So that highway hotline is definitely going to be lighting up in some different colors down towards the south by the end of the day. Today's forecast showing a 1 degree expected for Swift Current, 1 degree for Moose Jaw. -4 is where we're peaking in Yorkton, so definitely a cooler day. And then -8 expected for Prince Albert. So definitely bundle up if you're heading out the door. Regina, for tomorrow, you're probably looking forward to game day at Mosaic Stadium, 5:30 kickoff. We're peaking in the afternoon at about -6. By game time, we're going to be at -7 with the wind chill feeling closer to about -12. And then by the end of the game, when you're walking out to your cars, it's going to be -13, but feeling more like -16 degrees. Sunday, -5, and then getting warmer for our next work week. 7 degrees on Monday, some more rain on the way for Tuesday, up to about 5 degrees. In Saskatoon, -3 is the high today, but it's getting colder tomorrow. -7 will be the high. -3 on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud. 8 degrees, though, on Monday, so things will be warming up back above the seasonal average. We just have to look forward to Monday. 6 degrees on Tuesday, 3 degrees on Wednesday, and 1 degree expected for Thursday.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
After 5 months on the job, the CEO of the Regina Exhibition Association Limited has left the organization. Rick Bennett joined Real as the president and CEO back in June, taking over for interim CEO Trent Fraser. Now Fraser once again going to lead that organization, at least on a temporary basis. Jamie Bolts is the board chair for the organization, joins us in studio this morning. Jamie, thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
Your reaction to the news, I guess, first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak to Rick's situation, his personal and family situation, but what I can say is the board made a very swift decision, and I had a quick phone call with Trent Fraser, and he needed to sort out a few things, but he jumped on board right away with us, and we're so thrilled to have him starting on Monday.
After what you've been through with the last couple of years, how difficult is this?
You know, what I'll say is for the staff at Real, they've been through a lot, and they just seem to keep on rebounding, and they're resilient, and you know, the show must go on kind of attitude is what I would say. And so, you know, for those folks, I had some meetings yesterday and got to do some pulse checks with people, and also reassure them that, you know, as a board, we have their back, and we have them, and so they have leadership with our board. And so, and with Trent coming in, he's familiar to them.
Yeah, what makes Trent the right person?
Well, I think a lot of folks know Trent in this city, which is great. He's a local guy and a trusted person in our city, and that stability is important for Real right now, which is why we're actually not going out to a search anytime soon. We're going to let Trent, you know, put his feet on the ground there and provide some stability.
How difficult is the process to go through to find a new CEO and president if Trent doesn't eventually want to keep the job?
Yeah, I mean, we have a search firm that will start up again, and so we'll look at that in the new year and make some decisions on what the role looks like going forward and when is the best time to go to market.
Jamie, let's talk positives. You still have a lot of great things happening over at Real District, including you're wearing the jersey, the big game tomorrow.
Yeah, very excited.
How exciting is this as a time for your organization, despite what's happening on the managerial side?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this past year was phenomenal with all the concerts. I think we had 4 or 5 sold-out concerts in the Brant Center. We had a bit of an exciting announcement with Foo Fighters, so that was great. We haven't had anything in the stadium since 2019, so that's unbelievable. Again, we've got Grey Cup coming in 2027. We have a playoff game tomorrow. We have
the Vanier Cup.
Vanier Cup on November 22nd is going to be great. Hopefully we get a provincial team in there that we get to all go watch. Yeah, we just have a number of things that are really exciting. And really that's the work of, you know, months and even a year or so back, and seeing it come to fruition is pretty exciting. And so, yeah, we're optimistic, we're excited, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, so we're still going out, we're finding events, we're still doing maintenance and all the things that need to be done at the organization, at all the buildings and facilities?
Absolutely, yep. I mean, the show must go on, like I said, and everybody's just, you know, I think also we've turned a corner where people are starting to go out and go to events and things like that, and I think our city wants that, and Real provides that opportunity from sport to culture.
Frost is coming back for another couple of weekends in February.
Absolutely. Hopefully the weather will be a little kinder than last year then. But yeah, absolutely. We've got Frost and CWA.
Of course.
Coming up right away. So we're going to do a walkthrough today and have a look at the load-in that's happening. Excited to see what's going on there.
Jamie, thanks for coming in this morning.
You bet. Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You'll find the latest on their website.
Absolutely.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Art Guild Show and Sale happens November 6th through 8th. Starts at 10 in the morning. Saskatchewan Research and Technology Park. That's 10 Research Drive. AuroraArtGuild.com for more. Let's Dance Regina Social Club. Friday, November 7th at 7:30 p.m. at 2134 Winnipeg Street. That's the Regina Senior Center. Call 306-331-7290. The Old Time Dance Club happens that same night, 7:30. Rival Dance Clubs. Cecilia's Banquet Hall. This one's out in Weyburn. 306-861-9929. Jingle for the Park Trade and Craft Sale. Just in time for Christmas. Saturday, November 8th, 11 a.m. Heritage United Church. That's 1050 North Arneson Street. 306-529-2850. If you'd like your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, but please do so at least 2 weeks in advance.
Never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation, these heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
Let's check back in with Janelle Lippi at the Regina Art Gallery this morning.
All right, coming back to you from the Art Gallery of Regina. We are going to pick up where we left off here for our first hit. I've got Richard back with me. Now, Richard, tell me a little bit again about what has inspired your art. Some of those hurdles that you've jumped, those play quite a big role in what you've created.
Yes. The first major challenge I had in my life was realizing when I entered puberty that I was gay, and I didn't start really working on that in a healthy way until I got to art school. And later, a little bit later on in life, I got diagnosed with a mental illness, schizophrenia, and art was a big part of the healing process as well. And I used to live in Vancouver, then Calgary, and I ended up in Regina, just wandering around from city to city. And my mom got me into treatment, and I was moved into Phoenix House in Regina. And I lived there for a year and got a good footing on how to rebuild a life. And they bought me art supplies for my birthday and for Christmas. So it was, I can say I got back into my art practice in Regina in a mental health group home.
Wow, well, that's very inspiring, and I'm sure something that a lot of people can relate to and find hope in. Now, given that journey, how does it feel to have your art on display right here in Regina?
Oh, I love it. This is like a little bit of a homecoming for me. Not that I know a lot of people that I used to know 30 years ago, but it's a healing return. Just being in the city again and seeing the sights, but being a little bit, a little older, a little wiser, a little more grounded in terms of mental health. It's nice to kind of go back and see that progress has been made.
Amazing, Richard. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We're going to be back one more time here this morning, so stay tuned. We've got more beautiful pieces of art to show you.
It's November 7th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We didn't get a name for this birthday girl, but Kelly wrote in with a message that read, "I'd like to wish my mama a big happy birthday from your daughter, son-in-law Aaron, and all of your grandchildren. We love you and hope you have an amazing day." Happy birthday also going out to Russell. He's now 64 years old. We hope your birthday is awesome, with lots of love coming from your wife, Charmaine. A big happy birthday also going out to Macy today. She's turning 8 years old, and her mom, dad, and big sister Ella all hope she has the best day. Enjoy. And looking forward to the weekend, happy birthday to Larry, affectionately known as Larf, who's turning 62 tomorrow. We hope it's a great one. Have a great weekend. If you have anything that you would like to celebrate, send us your milestones to Your Morning Saskatchewan at ctv.ca. You can also scan that QR code on your screen right now. Let us know who you're celebrating, what you're celebrating, attach a photo, and send that in at least one day in advance.
Go Rams, right?
Go Rams. Hardy Cup tomorrow. It's going to be a great one. And you know what? If you're out at all of these events and you find yourself, you're just on your phone too much, we're talking today about a new phone case out there that is supposed to curb your phone use. How? Well, this thing weighs 6 pounds and is nearly impossible to take off. So they hope that people's arms just get fatigued using it. Essentially, think if you had like that old Nokia brick, like back in the early 2000s, it's that returning for you. Plus, we got your Country Minute on the way. CMA's coming up here in a couple weeks. Lainey Wilson hosting, and the first round of performers just announced, so we'll fill you in on that. And Zach Top, can this guy make some field goals? Yes, he is great at it. Might be a due to call this weekend for the West Final of the Hardy Cup.
All right, then. Let's got to see that video. We'll find it on your Facebook page. Chase, have a great weekend.
Thanks, you too. We'll see you Monday.
The tracks are made, the songs are ready. Let's take it from the top.
We're getting our first look at the upcoming Michael Jackson movie. Michael stars a King of Pop's own nephew, Jafar Jackson, in the title role. The movie also features Miles Teller and Coleman Domingo. Michael is set to hit theaters April 24th of next year. Gremlins 3 is now in the works at Warner Brothers, with Steven Spielberg back to executive produce. Chris Columbus, who wrote the screenplay for the original 1984 film, is now attached to direct. The studio is targeting a November 2027 release date. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is taking to the high seas in a new trailer for season 2 of the Disney Plus series. The show is based on the young adult book series, which follows modern-day children of the Greek gods. Disney is a parent company of ABC News. Journey is breaking up. The legendary rock band announcing a farewell tour expected to get underway in Pennsylvania in February. Tickets for the first leg of the tour go on sale next week. The second leg has not yet been announced. And happy birthday to Joni Mitchell. The Canadian-born singer and songwriter rose to fame during the 60s folk music scene. She has 11 Grammy Awards and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997. Joni Mitchell turns 82 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
Oh, I really don't.
Time to celebrate in song.
I see a little silhouette of a man.
You know what make this video even better, Jeremy, is if it was not Bohemian Rhapsody, but the theme song for Beverly Hills 90210. A show that Kayleen adores but cannot name.
No, because when I saw Dylan McKay, I was like, I think I've heard that name before. I think I know of that actor. Who is that again? Oh my gosh, that just crumbled my spirits. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Is it?
Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. No!
Is that right?
No,
What's
that's
that
not
from?
right.
We should start a band.
Next script. Now to a couple who are A-okay with being part of different groups.
The OG, original gang, the OG, original gangster, OG, original.
According to the door camera footage, it's obvious who the top dog is in this house, and it's the wife. Meanwhile, the husband has a flock of feathered friends that follow him around every day.
Yeah, picking up chicks. Look at that.
Yes.
The whole flock. What you don't hear at home is our producer here saying, stop that. Don't do that anymore, ever. That was bad.
It was, but I'm trying to prove that I do know the show.
I believe you. Sometimes, some people just don't test well.
Seems
Time
like
out.
you do it.
We're back right after this. It's Friday, November 7th.
If I was working, I sure as hell wouldn't want to be working without any pay.
Air travel now being affected by the U.S. government shutdown, with hundreds of flights canceled today across the U.S.
That's my intent, and that's my intent to certainly, work as hard as ever, not only with the MLAs that we have here and candidates in the lead up to the next election, but to work hard with, so many volunteers across the province, many that are going to be at our convention this weekend. We're looking forward to it.
Premier Scott Moe says he intends to lead the party into the next election.
I believe veteran teams win championships. It's very rare that a young team wins a championship because it takes that kind of that know-how and being there before.
CFL West Final just a day away. Are the Riders ready? Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen, and may I just say TGIF.
Oh, yeah, indeed. It's also payday for us, which is awesome. 59 minutes away from that. The roads are getting worse as I look at the highway hotline.
Yeah, so down through the southwest, that's where we're going to be seeing that freezing rain and flurries into the afternoon today. Drive careful out there, folks.
Yeah, those tire shops are going to be busy with those winter tires getting put on right away. Let's get to news, and we'll get back to the weather forecast in just a minute. Members of Parliament set to vote today on whether another amendment to the federal budget is going to happen. This comes after Mark Carney's government survived a first confidence test yesterday.
Yeas pour 139, 139. Nays contre 198, 198.
I declare the sub-amendment defeated.
Okay, so MPs voted down a Conservative sub-amendment that claimed the budget stands to offer no affordable life to Canadians. NDP, Bloc Québécois, and Greens voted with the Liberals against the sub-amendment to keep the minority government in power for now. Today's vote is a Bloc Québécois amendment, which calls on MPs to reject the budget because it's harmful to Quebec. A third confidence vote on the budget itself will happen November 17th. Alberta MP Matt Genereux is resigning as a member of Parliament. A resignation Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says will happen in the spring. In a letter posted to social media, Genereux says, does not elaborate on why he's resigning, saying he ran in the last election hopeful that Canadians would put their faith in a team led by Pierre Poilievre. News of Genereux's resignation comes just days after Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont crossed the floor to join the Liberals. In a later statement, Genereux stressed that there was no coercion involved in his decision, adding that he's had great conversations with Poilievre. The Supreme Court is set to weigh in on Saskatchewan's pronoun law.
It's good. We asked for them to hear the appeal, and they're going to hear it. So we'll see what the result of that is.
The law prevents children under the age of 16 from changing their names or pronouns they use at school without parental consent. Saskatchewan's government brought in the policy in 2023 before it was challenged by lawyers at UR Pride. The Pride organization says it violates charter rights and causes harm to gender-diverse youth. An injunction was granted to halt the rule before the province made it law by invoking the notwithstanding clause. The Supreme Court will now hear appeals. The Canadian economy is showing some surprising signs of life, adding more than 66,000 jobs in Canada in October. Statistics Canada saying that this month's impressive job numbers follow a gain of just over 60,000 jobs in September. All of the gains were in the part-time work sector, where employment rose by 85,000 people. The unemployment rate fell to 6.9% last month, with the youth unemployment rate falling for the first time since February. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has now gone ahead with its operation to kill hundreds of ostriches at that farm in BC.
You want to know what pain looks like, Canada? She's going to lose everything she's ever loved for 35 years.
The fight to save the birds started last December after dozens of birds died on the Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, BC. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency found traces of H5N1 in 2 dead birds and ordered the flock to be culled to contain the virus. The farm fought the order all the way to the Supreme Court, but yesterday the appeal was dismissed. The farm's owners have said the cull was unnecessary because the flock had herd immunity and was healthy. But the CFIA said the ostriches that appear healthy can still be potentially a source of the virus. Let's talk Saskatoon budget as we throw things over to Jeremy Dodge this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. Saskatoon is out with its preliminary budget for the next 2 years. Residents need to brace for another sizable tax hike. The nearly 300-page document highlights proposed city spending and sets the stage for some difficult budget deliberations at the end of the month. Administration's pitching an increase of 8.2% next year, with the expectation council will lower that number.
Administration's wish list budget. It's what we think is the minimum cost to maintain the services we have today.
Between 2021 and 2024, Saskatoon's population grew by more than 33,000 people. That's roughly the size of Moose Jaw. Meanwhile, a survey of Saskatoon residents shows homelessness, crime, and safety are among the key issues people are concerned about. 78% of respondents said the city should allocate more resources to address homelessness. But 63% said the funding should not just come from municipal governments, but rather federal and provincial as well. 82% of survey respondents said they felt the level of crime in Saskatoon was high, and 58% of people said they feel somewhat or very safe with drugs, assaults, gangs, and homeless encampments being their main concerns. Despite these significant concerns, 82% of respondents said they were satisfied overall with the quality of services provided by the city. Survey was conducted online among 398 randomly selected residents between July 11th and September 2nd. It has a margin of error of 4.91%, 19 times out of 20. Daryl, a Saskatchewan woman, a recipient of this year's Nelson Mandela Prize.
Yeah, the reception was held to honor Brenda Reynolds, the recipient of the United Nations Nelson Mandela Prize, as you mentioned. Reynolds is the first Indigenous person and the first Canadian to be awarded the prize. The award is given to 2 recipients every 5 years. Reynolds is a social worker and had a major role in the Indian Residential School Settlement Agreement.
To help people understand what the psychological effects are from cultural genocide is really important. And when I see people change as a result of them understanding what their experiences were and making sense of that and how it helps with their change, but also importantly helps with their own families' change.
The prize was awarded on July 18th, Nelson Mandela's birthday. The Regina Rams and Saskatchewan Huskies will square off for the Hardy Cup this weekend. On the Huskies side of the ball, a quarterback who made his starting debut only a month ago will be in action. Matt Young reports.
Super grateful to be in this position, especially being in the Hardy Cup this weekend.
He's got a man open and Weeb, and he's got it for the touchdown.
It's not the way Jake Farrell expected the season to unfold, going from the backup quarterback in week 1 to starting in October, and now a chance to potentially start this weekend and lead his team to a conference championship.
Yeah, it'd be big. I mean, anytime, just to be on this team in general is a big deal to me. But to lead my guys to a Hardy Cup win this weekend it'd be awesome.
He's a competitor. I've said this before. He's got moxie. I don't know how else quite to say it. There's an internal compete and a drive there.
Farrell came into the starting role mid-season after Anton Amadrid, who began the year with MVP-like numbers, became sidelined because of an injury. A bit of a theme for the Huskies this season, who've had to make several changes to the depth chart this year.
Injuries can sometimes have a funny effect on a team, and how you respond. But our veteran leadership has been just steadfast, and those guys, they don't worry about anything. They just love playing the game, and who's ever in there, we got complete trust and faith in that they're going to get the job done.
A testament to the coaching staff as well, says Fleury, which includes former Husky quarterback Mason Nias, who Farrell credits for helping him prepare for the moment.
He's unreal. Obviously, him being a quarterback here a few years ago has been unbelievable. Like just the knowledge he gives me and the coaching he gives me, it's great in my preparation for the game. And this season long, I feel like I've gotten so much better under his coaching.
Farrell says a lot of success is owed to strong play from his O-line and receivers. But one question, is he feeling the pressure as the Huskies go deeper into the playoffs?
No. I think just playing Husky football and relying on the game plan and the guys around me.
There's nothing I'm going to say to that kid that's going to be some magic pill to do anything with any of our players. We prepare for this moment all season long.
Kickoff for the Hardy Cup between the Regina Rams and Saskatchewan Huskies is 2 o'clock on Saturday at Griffith Stadium. Matt Young, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Highways are the big talker right now, and those pink lines are expanding, as are the yellow ones. That's where the snow is moving through. Red is road closed. That's Cumberland House. But roads seem to be improving in and around the Lloydminster area as this moves through. Kayleen Sawatsky is the expert, so we'll turn things over to her.
Yeah.
What do we need to know?
Well, we're not exactly seeing any more of that snow or freezing rain throughout the central zones today. Where we are going to be seeing it is where we didn't see it yesterday, and that's down through the southwest, mainly falling around Swift Current this afternoon. We're going to take a look at that on our Futurecast in just a moment. Now, let's take a look at this morning view first, though. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find that drop-off location near you. Now, we're sitting at -3 in Regina right now. The sun is finally up, but you can't really see it all too much because we have such heavy amounts of cloud cover this morning to start the day and to finish the day. The clouds are not going to be going anywhere this afternoon. Winds coming in at 19 kilometers per hour in Regina, and in Saskatoon, 13 kilometers per hour. Although now that the sun is up on this morning view, you can finally get this first glimpse of the snowy Saskatoon skies here. So -7 to start the day, some northeast winds coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. Now the Futurecast showing how we're going to be seeing that snow later on this afternoon. So Swift Current, that system is making its way in from Alberta. It's going to be impacting you starting in the morning, continuing on into the early parts of the afternoon there. As you can see, this is at about 1:45 this afternoon. And then it's going to track even more farther east. Regina, you can see we're just on the outskirts of that system. This is at about 9 p.m. this evening. Although I do want to let you know that the chance of the snow starting does pop up around 3 p.m. this afternoon. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to start falling exactly at that time, but the chance pops up, so you have to be aware of it, especially if you're going to be hitting those roads this afternoon. And then the higher likelihood of when we're going to be seeing it is into those late evening hours down through Estevan as well. And then we see it finish off down through Estevan into the early morning hours tomorrow. This is at about 5:15 a.m. Saturday, though, looking clear for game day for those skies. At least we're just talking about cooler temperatures. Total snowfall by the end of the day today, Swift Current could see about 7 centimeters of snow. Moose Jaw about 4 centimeters. Regina about 2 centimeters, so not quite as much here. And then Estevan about 3 centimeters of snow expected to be falling. So that highway hotline that we just showed you, where the lines were all black down near the bottom part of the province, those are going to be changing colors later on this afternoon. Current temperatures now, we're seeing -12 in Stony Rapids, -16 in Nipawin, -12 in Melfort, -18 in Hudson Bay, 0 degrees in Moose Jaw, and -1 in Estevan to start the day, so warmer down towards the south. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing highs not too warm today. 1 degree for Swift Current, 1 degree for Weyburn, and 1 degree for Estevan. If you're looking forward to your game day forecast, well, here's what you can expect tomorrow. -7 at kickoff time, -10 by halftime, and -13 by the end of the game when you're walking back to your cars. However, just be aware, although we're not seeing that precipitation going to be falling, the wind chill is still going to be a factor. Could be feeling like -16.
See what happened on this day in 1950. The first contingent of Canadian troops arrived in South Korea to join the United Nations force in the Korean War. November 7th, 2013, the Bank of Canada released new $5, $10 polymer bills into circulation to reduce counterfeiting. And November 7th, 1873, Alexander Mackenzie was sworn in as Canada's second Prime Minister.
Well, guys, it looks like 6-7 has some competition for Word of the Year. Vibe coding has been declared Word of the Year by Collins Dictionary. They picked vibe coding for 2025. Now, that term refers to a form of software development that involves using AI to turn natural language into computer code.
Oh.
Okay. I have never heard of that. Of course, last week, Dictionary.com said their Word of the Year wasn't even a word. 6-7 chosen for the annual pick. You can ask your kids or teens exactly what that means.
And they
What
won't
is
be able to tell
going on?
you. This is, yeah.
What do these even mean?
At least I've heard of 6-7.
Yeah, it has
I've not heard of vibe coding.
no meaning, but at least we've all heard 6-7 in one way or the other,
I hate
right?
to break this to you. We all sound like our parents and grandparents.
Oh no.
Like, we do. Like, what are these crazy...
We are not cool anymore.
These crazy kids saying, question of the day. Let's get onto this because it's more uplifting, at least for us. Which player do you expect to have the biggest game tomorrow in the CFL West Final? Kayleen, what do you got on the big board there?
Answers were quiet today. It is a sleepy Friday. Nobody has woken up yet.
Boy.
Everyone is getting a lot of sleep in preparation of heading to the game, maybe.
Okay.
The few answers that we did get, Schaefer Baker, Nathan Rourke, doesn't mean that BC will win, but he's too good not to have the best game. AJ Ouellette will have an awesome game. That came in from Colleen, but last minute, we didn't have time to get it up on the board. We did have one more answer coming in, and that did say AJ Ouellette as well. So good luck to all the teams playing tomorrow. Of course, we want to see that Rider win, but good luck to everybody. Stay safe and dress up for that game tomorrow. It's going to be a cold one.
The Humboldt Broncos are teaming up off the ice to donate blood and help save lives. Team members visited the Canadian Blood Services Donation Center in Saskatoon yesterday as part of a national campaign encouraging group donations. The Broncos head coach says it's a meaningful team-building experience and a way to honor the life-saving role blood donation played after the 2018 bus crash.
There were so many people that helped out during that crash time that we got to do our part now, you know, and it's no matter what, that's never going to change.
Canadian Blood Services says about 5,000 appointments need to be filled each month in Saskatchewan to meet hospital demand and encourages the public to consider donating.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
The first snowfall can be a beautiful sight, but it also marks the changing seasons and highlights the struggle facing many in our province. Let's check back in with Mike Siona now to see how the Saskatchewan Chiropractors Association is helping out.
Well, you've heard the adage where the rubber meets the road, and on the human body, that intersection point is the foot. We're talking all about keeping our feet warm here with the Chiropractors Association of Saskatchewan, and Dr. Logan Eckhoff has spent the morning with us here. This is what your foot looks like. It's so important to keep them warm, right?
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Now, that's exactly what we're doing here with the sock drive, the Toasty Toes campaign, and just a nice little prop because at a chiropractor's office, I mean, you guys adjust feet, you adjust the whole body. Give us the details on the sock drive.
Absolutely. So we started the sock drive in 2016. So just a few years prior, Alberta, their chiropractic association there actually did a similar initiative, and we thought it was a great idea. A lot of shelters, they actually often request that people bring in socks, but it tends to be one of the least donated. So we found that we could help bridge that gap a little bit. And people have next couple of weeks to still bring in these socks up until the 28th of November.
I love that. And we have done that with great success here in the province of Saskatchewan. We did a little bit of math. The goal for this year is 10,000. Last year was 16,000. But how many pairs of socks have you guys raised and donated over the course of this initiative?
Yeah, since 2016, there's been over 120,000 pairs of socks that have been donated.
That's amazing. That means we're talking about in excess of 250,000 individual socks, and the need continues to be there. We've got different shapes, sizes, fuzzy, you name it. And whatever kind of sock, the only rule is?
They do have to be new socks, but they can be store-bought. They can be handmade, but as long as they're new.
Fantastic. Well, stop by any chiropractor office in the province of Saskatchewan. It is a province-wide initiative. It does support the Salvation Army and other charities, depending on where in the province you happen to be. And let's make sure that no feet are left uncovered this holiday season.
Well, as the weather cools and family gatherings start to fill our calendars, it's the perfect time to get your home ready for the holidays. From cozy decor to kitchen upgrades, our next guest has you covered. Educator and host of the Juggle is Real podcast, Andriana Gonco, is here to share some simple ways to make your home feel warm, festive, and of course, functional. Good morning.
Good morning, Kayleen. This is one of my favorite times of the year, this transition from fall to festive. But I know I woke up to a little bit of snow. I'm in Northern Ontario. I know it's in the forecast. Things can go from cozy to chaotic. So that's why I'm here to share a few simple things we can do to prepare.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Let's start with the fun part, the decor. How can we transition our homes for the holidays without going overboard?
Absolutely. And this is where one of my favorite stores really shines. I'm talking about HomeSense, and it is beautiful all times of the year. But during the holidays, that's when you want to get in and see what you have and mix it with maybe one or two beautiful new items. Now, in stores, you're going to find beautiful items like motif drinkware, like you see, like beautiful decanter gift sets. If you have guests, if you're hosting overnight guests, it also makes a beautiful hostess gift as well. You're going to find bakeware sets as well. I have mother-in-law and two sisters-in-law. We do baking every year. So you're going to find your cake tins, your ramekins, beautiful sets like this bowl with the whisk and the cookie cutters and even the recipes, all of these items and more. I also love to start the transition with layering in cozy pieces, like perhaps a few cushions, maybe a throw that's in a beautiful pop of red or a soft color, these things that we can slowly do to get ready for the season. So definitely head to HomeSense, check out your local store, and make sure that you get everything that you need to host in style this season.
Simple yet sophisticated. I love it. All right, let's move on because, of course, the heart of the gathering is the kitchen. So to prepare to host and for the inevitable cleanup, what's helping you keep things running smoothly at home right now?
That's right. Well, you know, you said it, the kitchen's the heart of the home. And when it works, everything just flows so much better, especially if you're hosting. And we have a large extended family. I have 3 game changers I would love to share from Whirlpool. The first is the new 36-inch French door fridge from Whirlpool. This is gorgeous because it has family size capacity. That means your big grocery hauls, your party platters, everything is fitting in, as well as the freezer capacity if you're doing the baking as well. I also want to shout out the Whirlpool 30-inch electric range. It has a wipe clean coating, Kayleen. This means those spills, no scrubbing, no harsh chemicals, no stress. You use water and you wipe it clean. It is magnificent. It also has a no preheat air fry feature, which is great for your hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. And then, like you said, the cleanup. We have different styles of cleaning up in our house, but the Whirlpool dishwasher has total coverage wash. So everything in that dishwasher is going to come out sparkling and clean. It also has the largest capacity third rack. So everything you need for serving trays and hosting is going to fit in beautifully.
All right,
Head to whirlpool.ca to check it out.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but I want to thank you this morning. Great advice.
Thank you. Take care.
The Quebec Retail Council is raising concerns about how many Quebecers are turning to foreign websites to shop, and they're calling on the federal government to step in. CTV's Jack Richardson explains.
34% of Quebec consumers made a purchase on Temu in the last 6 months, according to statistics from the Quebec Retail Council. That's up from 21% in January. Shein's numbers also rose by 9% in the same time period. The sites are based in Asia and offer a wide range of products at very low cost, a growing concern for Canadian businesses.
It's not possible for the retailers to be able to compete with such unfair competition. It's a very, very serious problem right now because if we are not going to act quickly, I can assure you that we are going to see a lot of bankruptcy of retailers in Quebec and in Canada.
The province's retail council is calling on the federal government to put more regulations on Shein and Temu.
It's just the ascendancy, the rapid ascendancy of Temu and Shein that's, I think, catching everybody's attention right now.
The companies ship items one at a time. According to experts, that's a loophole, which allows them to have significantly lower prices.
The fact that the products come in one envelope at a time often is sort of circumvent a lot of the processes that the local brands and businesses need to adhere to.
Online shopping is much more convenient for consumers. Then you mix that with the fact that Shein and Temu offer such discounted prices. It's easy to see why Quebecers are starting to use those sites much more often. Even shoppers at a mall say buying stuff online is their preference, especially if it's cheaper.
You can just click and then have your thing sent to you the next day, as opposed to waiting in traffic and going to the store.
The Quebec Retail Council flagged the stats to bring attention to the growing appetite for these websites.
It's not possible to compete when you have a product who's going to cost 5-10 times less that we can find right now with the retailers in Quebec and in Canada.
Jack Richardson, CTV News.
8:30 on your Friday. Welcome to Your Morning. We begin with this. The Regina Exhibition Association will not be seeking a new full-time CEO in the near future.
And that stability is important for Real right now, which is why we're actually not going out to a search anytime soon. We're going to let Trent, put his feet on the ground there and provide some stability.
Board Chair Jamie Bolt was on Your Morning Saskatchewan this morning. Trent Fraser will assume the CEO duties on an interim basis with an extended run expected. Rick Bennett resigned yesterday for personal and family reasons. He was only on the job for about 5 months. The board chair says the move will not impact upcoming events or attracting new ones. Fraser will start on an interim basis on Monday. You can stream our full conversation right now on our website. The Saskatchewan Party will vote this weekend on a proposal restricting full party membership to Canadian citizens. It would exclude those with permanent residency only from voting on party matters. The change would align with election voting eligibility, but opposition critics call it discriminatory. Wayne Mantika reports.
A change in party membership rules will be one of the more controversial topics debated this weekend when the Saskatchewan Party holds its annual convention in Saskatoon. If passed, only Canadian citizens could vote on matters like party candidate selection and leadership.
It's mirroring and aligning with Election Saskatchewan on who can vote in an election in the province.
The Premier doesn't know what prompted the proposal or if he will support it.
This is a motion that comes from the grassroots of the very party. It's not a motion that myself or any elected member really brings, and I can be thankful that we do have a grassroots.
The party also proposes to restrict decision-making to those of voting age. The NDP was quick to offer an opinion.
Especially when people come to this province and they call this place their home. And when they are wanted to involve at grassroots level politics, I think that will be really discouraging.
Scott Moe will also face his first leadership review since the Saskatchewan Party won the 2024 election with a reduced majority. Moe says he would like to stay on as leader through the next election.
It's my intent, and that's my intent to certainly, work as hard as ever, not only with the MLAs that we have here and candidates in the lead up to the next election, but to work hard with, so many volunteers across the province, many that are going to be at our convention this weekend, and we're looking forward to it.
A Saskatchewan Party leader needs 50% support in order to retain their position. But in practice, it's generally higher than that. With anything less than overwhelming support, a leader would have to make their own decision on whether to stay or go, although there could be added leeway coming off an election win. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
Elon Musk now one step closer to becoming the world's first trillionaire. This Tesla CEO won a shareholder vote yesterday, essentially giving him a new pay package that could be worth $1 trillion. The proposal was approved with more than 75% support, even as Tesla struggles with plunging sales and profits. Remember the song Who Let the Dogs Out? Well, we have our answer. The Yorkton Annual Harvest Showdown as Stock Dogs took over the Westland Arena. Virginia DeClute reports.
This is not a stock dog. This one is. And the canine is competing at Yorkton's Harvest Showdown.
I would, by the time you get to open, you got 2-3 years of training on the dog, and you should be ready to compete at that level.
So what makes a good stock dog?
So they have what we call quiet power, where there's a conversation going on between the dog and the stock just through eye contact and body movement and gestures that the dog is establishing. I'm the predator, you're the prey. When I say move, start moving.
Initially, Vermette looked at the dogs as tool, but then he wanted to show them off.
It's more or less a bragging competition, and which is how dog trials started in Scotland. It was, a couple guys sitting in the pub, and I got the best dog, and they're like, okay, prove it. Bring him to town. Let's see.
Now it's become a serious sport. At the Harvest Showdown cattle trial, the dogs needed to herd livestock into a pen in under 3 minutes.
Yeah, it looks great. The team set up the panels, and we have the stock waiting to come into the arena, and I think it'll be a good show. Lots of competitors came out today, so yeah, looking forward to it.
The stock dog competition is just one of the many events taking place at the Harvest Showdown.
What we like to say about Harvest Showdown is that there's something for everyone. We have dogs, we have horses, we have cattle. I think that this really draws a crowd. There are people that love to see this stuff run, and we're just happy to put it on and support our community here.
The competition continues on Friday, while the showdown runs until Saturday, capping off with a barn dance Saturday night. Virginia DeClute, CTV News, Yorkton.
Well, the most anticipated video game releases of the year has been delayed yet again. Grand Theft Auto 6 will now be released November of 2026 instead of May. This is already after being postponed once before. Rockstar Games, the studio behind it, says, quote, "We hope you understand that we need this extra time to deliver the level of quality you expect and deserve." French officials are holding a lottery where people can win a burial plot in a legendary Paris cemetery. Paris City Hall says this is a way to restore tombs that have aged badly throughout the years. Lottery winners will have a chance to buy and fix one of the 30 tombs in 3 graveyards. Among the famous people buried there are Doors lead singer Jim Morrison, legendary French singer Edith Piaf, and playwright Oscar Wilde. Each tomb costs about $6,400. Closer to home, a look at the highways, and they are starting to clear up in some areas, Kayleen, as we make our way from west to east on the map, but that highway around Hudson Bay now has some issues.
Yeah, clearing up around some areas and going to start lighting up in all those fun colors in areas down in the southwest very shortly into the afternoon here. Areas around Swift Current, that's where we're going to be seeing the snow and the freezing rain later on today. -3 right now to wake us up in Regina. A lot of cloud cover to start the day, but at least we don't see quite as much as that snow as what we're seeing over in Saskatoon this morning. If you're waking up with us there, we're at -7, winds currently coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. Now you're probably wondering though, what can I expect for the rest of the day? Well, here it is. So we have that freezing rain and the flurries moving in from Alberta, mainly impacting areas down in the southwest today. You can see how it curves around, and then it's going to be tracking eastward as we make our way through the afternoon hours and then into those overnight ones. Now you can see the system right over top of Regina around 9:30 p.m. this evening. However, we do want to let you know that it pops up on the radar as the chance of flurries starting around 3 p.m. Although it's not likely, we just want to let you know if you are planning to hit those highways later on this afternoon. But again, the higher chance is that we're going to be seeing these flurries into the later parts of the evening tonight. And then into the overnight hours, we see that tracking down towards the south, exiting out through areas around Estevan there early tomorrow morning, and then clearing up those skies for game day. If you're wondering how much snow, well, right now our radar is saying about 5 centimeters for Swift Current by the end of the day, about 6 now. So that number has jumped up for Moose Jaw as the radar is changing this morning. Regina now expecting about 4 centimeters of snow. That's double from what we saw just about an hour hour ago on the radar. And now Estevan expecting about 2 centimeters of snow by the end of the day. Current temperatures now showing -10 in Buffalo Narrows, -11 in South End, -16 in Nipawin, and -18 in Hudson Bay. So definitely a cooler start to the day throughout the central and northern zones. Down towards the south, though, not seeing temperatures quite that cold. We're seeing -3 in Weyburn this morning, -2 right now in Estevan, and -2 in Swift Current as well, where we're going to start seeing those flurries coming down. With those flurries today, Swift Current can expect that high of 1 degree, 1 degree for Moose Jaw as well, 1 degree for Weyburn, and 1 degree for Estevan. Cooler up through those central and northern zones, though. Yorkton up to -4 and Prince Albert up to about -8 this afternoon. If you're wondering about the weekend, well, it's going to be a cold one. Saturday, game day for Regina. -6 is going to be where we're peaking in the early afternoon. But by game time, it's going to be about -7, feeling like -12 with the wind chill. By the end of the game, sitting at -13, and as you're walking to your car, it's going to feel like -16 with that wind chill factored in. -5 on Sunday, but these temperatures aren't going to stick around into your next work week. We are going to be seeing some improvements up to about 8 degrees on Monday in Regina. In Saskatoon, your weekend, again, looking cooler. -7 on Saturday with that mix of sun and cloud, and -3 on Sunday. Again, mix of sun and cloud, but getting warmer for your next work week.
We will never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation. These heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
SGI Canada and the Insurance Brokers Association of Saskatchewan launching a new partnership called the Indigenous Broker Development Program. It will recruit and train insurance brokers of First Nation, Métis, or Inuit heritage with the goal of fostering long-term careers in the insurance industry. We're learning more about this morning as we welcome in SGI Board Chair Gary Vedel. Thank you so much for doing this all the way from Meadow Lake this morning. Appreciate your time.
Hey, appreciate joining you this morning.
Tell us about this program. What makes it so unique?
You know what, I think the thing that makes it unique is that it's a tremendous three-way partnership between SGI Canada, the Insurance Brokers Association of Saskatchewan, and One Hoop Indigenous Advisory Services, where IBAS and SGI Canada have kind of partnered to develop and roll out the program. And then IBAS has partnered with One Hoop Indigenous Advisory Services to actually make the program work and make sure it's successful as it rolls out into brokerages and incorporates the creating jobs for Indigenous people across our province.
Gary, let's get into the weeds on this. How exactly is it going to work besides the money that's behind it?
So each brokerage can apply for up to $25,000. SGI's invested $750,000, and basically it will cover eligible costs that include recruitment, licensing, onboarding, and wages for new Indigenous brokers. So at the end of the day, it's really about getting Indigenous people involved and creating professional opportunities for them to have long-term careers in the insurance industry.
A barrier in the past?
That is a barrier in the past. One of the things I've always advocated for in my role as an MP in the past is economic reconciliation. And what that means is actually creating opportunity for Indigenous people that have been disadvantaged over the years to be participating members of a prosperous economy. And I think this is a program that isn't just about words, it's about actions. It's really doing the work.
Maybe somebody is watching who is Indigenous, wants to get into the insurance industry. Why is it so rewarding? Why should they do it?
I think the insurance industry is a very, very rewarding profession, and there's great opportunity. There's a workforce shortage across the province right now, so there's tremendous opportunity, and I think there would be tremendous reward for somebody that wanted to get involved and engaged in the profession and make it into a long-term career. I think there would also be opportunity for entrepreneurial individuals to potentially maybe start up a brokerage someday. So I think there's some tremendous opportunity for Indigenous people across our province, to do some really, really cool long-term things.
Gary, thank you so much. Just before I let you go, when will this be officially underway, and how do people get more information?
It has actually, the first rollout started back in June already. There's going to be a second rollout that's going to happen the end of this year, early into 2026, and people can reach out through IBAS to actually apply for participation in the program.
I appreciate your time this morning. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. You have a great morning.
Now, back out to the Regina Art Gallery, where Janelle Lippi is wrapping up her morning of conversations on the newest textile exhibit.
All right, well, our morning down at the Art Gallery of Regina is slowly but surely coming to an end, but that does not mean we're done quite yet. Now, Richard, we are right beside one of your pieces of work here. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it's called A Molecule of Perfect, and it's a work in collaboration with an artist friend in Winnipeg, or Edmonton, pardon me, named Marilyn Olson. We made 9 textiles together. The idea behind the phrase "a molecule of perfect" is that if a person has one molecule in them that is perfect, then the rest of the body can kind of catch up, and at least there's something that it's meant to be hopeful. There's a number of different techniques in this. It's quite a built-up, jumbled surface. There's cross-stitching, there's loom knitting, a lot of Marilyn's crochet. There's quite a few items from the craft group that runs out of the Canadian Mental Health Association, Edmonton. That's an organization that's quite important to me. So this piece is just about having a whole lot of fun. And I think the mental health text in this is a phrase that says, sometimes I feel a little discombobulated, which is like a fun word to say that we struggle sometimes.
Yeah. All right, Richard. Well, thank you so much for walking us through this morning. We had a great time with you, and we really appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you. It's been a real honor to do this interview. So thank you very much.
Oh, our pleasure. And that is all for us here this morning. We are wrapping it up down at the Art Gallery of Regina.
How's it going? Jermaine Franklin inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. For it, we go to Buffalo. Sabres, Blues. Jack Quinn finds Josh Doan in front of the net, but Joel Hofer absolutely robs him. Hofer flashing the leather to keep this one out. One of his 27 saves to a shutout. Doan had the whole right side of the net and finds nothing but glove. That's your must-see moment from Thursday. And tonight on TSN, Tangerine Raptors basketball. Toronto taking on Atlanta. Pregame begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
It's Chase from Pure Country Mornings back once again to count down this week's top 5. Losing a little bit of ground, Bottle Rockets from Scotty McCreery and Canadian Aloface lands at number 5. Says he's losing so much weight they started to call him a veggie roll. Jelly Roll is number 4 this week with Heart of Stone. Luke Combs climbing back to number 3 with Back in the Saddle. Jordan Davis, another week as runner-up with Bar None. And back-to-back weeks as your number 1 song, Morgan Wallen, I Got Better is this week's top song. Thanks for joining us for this week's Top 5. You can catch all of these and the rest of your favorites with the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free to download and find us on there. Set us as a preset, Pure Country 92.7.
On my cell phone. For Canadian rap royalty Drake, Spotify has been his own hotline to bling, cashing in an estimated $350 million off the streaming service. And I know when that hotline bling. Though the scathing lawsuit alleges that Drake has profited off of a fraudulent streaming scheme, the lawsuit is against Spotify. Drake is not being sued, though his name appears in the suit 32 times. The allegations against him paint a roadmap of alleged fraud. Filed in a California district court, the suit states that Spotify knows or should know that music streams for a particular song have been artificially and fraudulently inflated through the use of bots.
If we don't have strict rules and laws around streaming of music, we're going to see a lot of fabricated numbers.
A Spotify spokesperson says the company in no way benefits from the industry-wide challenge of artificial streaming, going on to say they use best-in-class systems to combat it and safeguard artist payouts.
It would benefit them a lot to exaggerate the amount of people that are using the streaming service.
You hating on numbers untouchable, they got the data wrong.
The lawsuit claims that over a 4-day period in 2024, at least 250,000 streams of Drake's song No Face originated in Turkey, but were falsely geomapped through the coordinated use of VPNs in the United Kingdom. In September, Drake became the first artist to reach 120 billion streams on Spotify. The platform pays out royalties through a stream share model where a pool of money is divided based on each artist's total streams.
It's the smaller artists that are being affected the most.
Requests for comment from Drake's representatives have so far gone unanswered. The lawsuit notes that while Drake is being used as an example, there are others. He doesn't stand alone. Adrian Gober, CTV News, Toronto.
Now to a special gift one NFL star gave two young brothers for their support. Sam Champion has the story.
Not everyone was happy to find out that star cornerback Sauce Gardner had been traded from the Jets earlier this week.
The Jets traded Sauce today.
To where? To where?
No, it's okay. It's okay, I'll get you a different one. He went to Indianapolis, and they also traded...
9-year-old Trey and his brother, 7-year-old Bryce, distraught after learning their favorite NFL player would be heading to Indianapolis to play for the Colts. So what do? You can't give up on your favorite player.
Guess what?
The video going viral, racking up over 6.3 million views on TikTok. And among those millions was Sauce Gardner himself, who sent a special message welcoming his fans to their new team.
Bryce, Trey, just want to say I appreciate y'all for the support. With that being said, I'm going to be giving you 2 of my first coach jerseys.
And this morning, the brothers are speaking to GMA about how it feels to trade in the green and white for the blue and white.
It's like the Jets now, I like the Colts. I'm still a Jets fan. I don't give up on the Jets.
But will these superfans ever see Sauce play in person again?
If my dad wants to take Bryce to a Colts game.
And Trey and Bryce have a special message for Sauce.
Thank you for being part of the Jets. You did great. You're my favorite player, and I love you so much.
Adorable.
That's so sweet.
We got our jerseys on. It's almost game day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. When players change teams so often, right?
Yeah.
You spend all that money.
Yeah, well, whose jersey is yours?
This is a Joe, Brooks, Alberta, baby.
Joe.
You know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Let's get to our sidebar. Two Brooks people playing this weekend in big games. Joe for the Riders and Nick Surley for the Regina Rams, who are going to beat Jeremy's Saskatchewan Huskies.
Oh, maybe they need another
we
Brooks
shall see.
That's
guy.
gonna. We should have had a bet.
Shots fired.
We should have had a bet. Let's do a jersey bet next week. How about it? You on?
Deal.
I'll send you a Rams jersey up there. One of
100%.
Montana's main travel destinations, by the way, is reaching out to Canadians, offering deals, discounts, and specials to lure them back in for a visit. They rely on tourism in the northern states, of course. Tourism organization for the city of Kalispell in northwest Montana. You've been, Jeremy. It's a nice place. They've unveiled a new Canadian Welcome Pass. So Kalispell is near the Canada-U.S. border, about 5 hours from Calgary. The Welcome Pass includes a mix of deals for lodging, retail, dining, museums. Data from Statistics Canada showed travel to the U.S. by Canadians down more than 25% in the month of August. And it's still right down there. So
yeah, well.
Kalispell is basically like right at Whitefish, right?
Yeah.
So the big mountain, one of the best ski resorts in the continent, is right there. So
one of those
great.
One of those towns. If you lived in Lethbridge area, you'd go down to Kalispell. You'd shoot down there for the day, sort of thing, just like we kind of do with Minot in the southern.
Just
part
to go
of
to
Saskatchewan.
Target,
Just to go to Target, and formerly the Olive Garden Jordan.
Yeah.
Prince Harry is requesting Canada's forgiveness after a fashion foul at the World Series. So he wore a Dodgers hat during the game. He was there with the owner of the Dodgers. They gave him the tickets. Why do we care? Do we really care? Is this what we're going to waste our energy on? Do we care about this? It's not the Prime Minister. It's not. I don't know.
He's not even a prince anymore,
He's not even a royal anymore. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
They used to be a dude.
Let's all just forgive each other.
Can't we all just get along and unite behind the Saskatchewan Roughriders? 5:30 tomorrow. Kaylin says it's going to be cold. Bundle up.